Hey there, you know what, Greensage? You know what? I'm kind of like a rich guy now. Anyway, welcome to my, uh, not just pocket dimension anymore. This is a multiversal node, uh, uh, of a sprawling, um, uh, dimensional matrix, that I can host here on this, I don't really know how to refer to the machine that puts out um, this this dimensional gateway on the screen in my room. Like, what do you call a machine that does that? I don't know. Anyway, uh, so I'm kind of like a rich guy now, and you know why I'm saying that is because I got this PlayStation 5 last fall in order to study Hideo Kojima. Um, and by the way, there's going to be a great literary project coming out of that. I don't know if you'll be interested in it or not because it's going to be about Chan texts. Oh wait, that's right. That's why I'm actually responding to you because I read your comment here. It was, by the way, it's been super charming that that Kier unblocked me. Uh, I'm not gonna lie about it. I was like, oh, like that was a nice sign. You know, he didn't have to do that. You know, I wasn't even participating in the forum anymore. Um, let's see what this says. Time is an ever-flowing river in this world, and the activities and behaviors of its inhabitants reflect this. People are unlikely to remain in the same place all day long and may only appear in the morning, at night, or at midday. To pass the time, you can either stay at an inn or make use of one of the special seats found outdoors in set locations. You know what's funny is that that just popped up as a note because I was sitting idle. I didn't even hit a button, but that's that was pretty interesting, you know, and it's more or less what a neighborhood is like. You know, they're just like, okay, corporatists, in your little cubicles, if you lived in a neighborhood where you would go on walks, this is what you would see about how life worked. But since you don't do that, we have made a tooltip. You know, there's probably some, you know what, there's probably some rural people that they have to hire. They're like, you tell us what life is like, and then we'll put it in a game and we'll sell it, right? Because it'll be like an art object down there in corporatist world. You know, you just it's like we bring it in from the forest or down from the mountain, and it's got all this different meaning, you know, to people who don't, you know, have access to those places. Up there, this is just a funny description of how your neighborhood is. You can make any time, but down there, it's like it's a tip, right? Okay. Let's see more passage of time. Come nightfall, you will be able to see no further than the ground at your feet, and the onset of darkness summons fearsome monsters not seen by day. You know, that's pretty true, right? I know. Like there's active moose and bear out there, or in your mind there is, right? Um, explore the wilderness after sunset at your own peril, and be sure you have a lantern in your pack. Those things are both good advice. I agree, but that actually is an imperative. It says explore the wilderness after sunset at your own peril, you know, and ignore that imperative at your own peril because there's just a lot you won't know if you don't do that. Some items that can be gathered will change over time, such as by ripening and growing more flavorful. There are also items that, if allowed to age just long enough, will become more useful when combining materials. However, you should keep a close eye on raw items in particular, as consuming anything that has been aged past its prime is likely to have unpleasant side effects. Look at this. They sneak in dietary advice. It's like, so we know you're playing this game now, corporatist, but since your civilization's collapsing, trust us, it's going to help that we put this in your brain. Right? That's decent advice that people might need to hear before they, you know, have to run out to the hills or whatever. Uh, certain objects and structures that can be destroyed by your attacks will regenerate after a set amount of time has passed. True. Similarly, fruits, berries, and other gatherable flora will grow back after time. Okay, very good. Uh, anyway, why I say I'm like a rich person? I got this PlayStation 5 last fall, right? In the microphone that comes in the controller was kind of a hidden. Like I was like, that's what like I Rip Van Winkled myself technologically for so long. I was pretty shocked that that was even a thing. But then I recorded a video with it, and it's like real tinny sounding, you know. Um, and by the way, let's make sure that my uh, microphone is on. Okay, pretty fun, huh? But see, what I needed was like a studio quality, not a studio quality, but like a streamer quality headset that I could use that would higher quality audio into these before I started making real literary commentary, which was fine because it took me 6 months to learn how to play video games. That shit was exhausting, dude. But it took 6 months to get my hands on this. It was only like $100, but my point is I'm like a rich man now because this is a nice thing. Like the tool is nice. It's super fun. I could pop you right into here into this dimensional matrix, and take you on a walk, well, with a video, just like I normally do. Um, but we have a different uh, contextual setting, a different stage. So anyway, this is my response to your comment that I stumbled on here in that Curious post. And I was gonna say, first of all, to start, that I read your comment, and my first response to myself, my first comment about yours was that contains more interesting reading, probably I would guess, than something like 50 or 60 of the most recent posts in Arzen in the OPs, right? Honestly, and I haven't read them. Like, I'm just guessing on the few I did read. I'm just extrapolating out. Like, okay, we have rinse and repeat, whatever, because that kind of comment's like way more interesting to read, because you took one theme and then found a bunch of really nice passages about it, um, and uh, there was a lot of Chan masters in there. It wasn't just like some nerd talking about his conversations with a robot about how to read classical Chinese, which neither of them could actually do. And it wasn't, you know, uh, social engineering experiments put out by trolls. You know, it wasn't wiki promotion. It wasn't um, podcast promotion. Like your comment actually seemed to have something to do with Chan or with Zen, right? And Chan or Zen masters. And I just chuckled a little. I was like, yeah, I did used to like reading that guy's content. But it's just too bad that the forum, after the pandemic, it's just, we see which way it's going, and honestly, we're already thoroughly transitioned to video. So if you guys want to come back and erase all writing and you know, scrub all the literature out of the words, and just to make a point of it and say, look, this is all we're going to do now is write book reports. So you might as well give up and go, uh, go learn how to study Zen and other media, and don't forget to read your books. Good thing a lot of us got them on our shelves already, I guess. Um, but anyway, I was just going to make a comment that I was like, oh, that's funny because that would be a better OP and more readable and more conversational. Like you could have more conversation about what Chan Masters are saying just on your comment than based on like, why would I want to go in there to talk about some chat GPT and some nerd arguing about one Chinese character? It's like, well, I guess if I was looking at 30 or 40 more years of writing book reports in my future, I suppose that would be interesting. But since that's not what I'm looking at in my future, it is not interesting. But who knows? After the public sale, maybe the moderation will be forced to allow other viewpoints and other approaches to Chan study back in a way that they can't be like bullied out, or socially engineered out, whatever you want. It's hard for me to say because like I never really studied DT Suzuki at all, and my approach to Zen wasn't like his. So when I see social engineering, I'm just like, well, that's just a little weird for me to see as an American. But hey, that's their take on Zen. What can you do about it? Other than point out the obvious flaws in their literary approach to study, which I think I did sufficiently already. Um, but anyway, I'm going to take you this other dimension because I had some pawns recruited. So this is my pawn, Athena, obviously. So this is the literary commentary I'm making for other players. Is I train her through the experiences in my pocket of this dimensional matrix, and she learns all the quests that I do and gains the knowledge of the world that she gets by playing with my character here, Cervantes, and then they can rent her out to take him into their pocket, and so they'll have my pawn by them, and she will share her knowledge with them, right? I'm like, I'm like, okay, like, do you understand the technology? Like, that is one of the craziest literary advances I've ever fucking heard of, man. And so that's my whole literary commentary in this game, is that I'm just gonna train up the most knowledgeable pawn I can, who knows like I'm gonna try to 100% the game, and then her name will be Athena, and then so my commentary will be Athena making her comments about how to do all the quests and how to get everything done. So their experience will basically be just like Odysseus's. And what's funny is they fight some of the same monsters that they fought in the Odyssey. And so that's right. I I just happened to be born at a time when right when I needed to make the uh, some literary commentary that there weren't tools for yet. You know, some uh, Zen people show up and start erasing literature in front of everyone just so we can all see that it's gone now. And then at the same time, I can buy some Japanese technology that helps me create the next form of literature. And I look at it, I'm like, you know what? The rising sun on their flag might not have been a bad flag choice. You know, like we got stars, you know, but those stripes mean running blood, you know. Uh, but thankfully we got stars too. But that's like, I mean, just think about that, the simultaneousness of that, right? Those events, you know, and that's all I've been saying is look, you guys see a renaissance, right? But so look at how crazy this is. We're gonna go into this is like the cloud. We're just gonna upload ourselves into the cloud of bodhisattva pawns. Watch. All right, so now we're in the cloud, and all these other forms. So here, this is the one I rented or I borrowed. You don't have to pay for all of them. And I had another one that was named Ohio, but the person took it back to use it or something. And so here's mine. So she's available, but she's brand new because I haven't played yet. So we just have to find one with a good name that will fit in my group. And so I have an archer. What does Victor do here? What do you do, Victor? You're a mage. Okay. See, like, I'm not the type of person who'd take a Rufus. Morgan, I'm not going to take because I'm working on a bunch of Camelot stuff, and I'm not going to risk someone catching me with someone named Morgan in my party. Oh, no, I don't want to leave the rift. How do I summon new people? Okay. By the way, you recommended Hades to me, and I read up on it, and it does look like it's like a pretty good, like a really good take on Greek myth, a really good modern take on it. But it's like 29 bucks, and I don't really have enough to buy things that I don't need for literary commentary. But I am going to recommend it to my sister and some friends for teaching their video game playing kids Greek mythology, because they're obviously not going to get that in school. So let's see. Let's just go general information. So I don't like any of these. I don't like any of these names. Hank's pretty fun. He's fun. He's the same class I am. Jeez, look how small I am compared to Hank. Huh. All right. Ooh, there we go. I don't even. So I'm gonna have a double archer squad. Well, she is the messenger of the gods, right? Fuck it.
I am attentive and loyal, and prefer to remain by your side. In battle, I shall follow your lead and prioritize support.
That's fine, I guess. I might not be able to afford you. Oh, jeez. She's level 9. I'm only level 1 myself. I don't need this. That's a good... Well, yeah, I can't... If I accept the messenger of the gods on my team, it's going to be like cheating, right?
If ever you've need of an ear to listen, you have but to ask.
Okay, I took it. Thanks. Thanks, Iris. All right. All right. So we have Athena, Iris, and Victor are my pawns. We'll try to go out on my very first adventure leaving town. I think I've got to get a little sleep here though first. Yeah. By the way, I'm not much of a streamer because I don't stream and stuff. And usually what I do is I play through the game and I learn it, and then I can record pretty good commentary videos from inside of it, which I've put up in some of my in another forum I made. It's nice and atmospheric though. You know what's great about these headphones is like, you know what they're like? Is it's like what you see Tom Cruise using on the screen in Magnolia. You know, when he's like that real charismatic, like, you know, pyramid scam selling, give you confidence and you'll succeed kind of dude. Let's just walk out. Let's just go on a moonlit walk if the moon's out. It's a full moon in real life. Oh, nope. No moon. This does not appear to be the exit either. Yeah, it's a full moon and it's clear, but I was already outside all day, and I'm just really exhausted. It's been spring here for like 5 days now, and that means I'm sleeping like 3 hours a night because I suddenly got energy. Me and Calypso have been filming, doing all that stuff.
So far away.
But yeah, so this headset's like cool, and you know what? It feels really good on it, and I put it on, and like I can walk. It's cordless, so I can walk around, you know, even in my kitchen or on my porch and listen to music and speak through it. But it doesn't work on iPhone because it's like too big of a thing to just be Bluetooth. It has like a USB thing you have to put into the dimensional gateway, and then it works on Bluetooth. Which kind of sucks because I would love to wear this while I have my GoPro doing filming outside, because it just feels so natural as a performer to have this mic in front of me, you know, and it just fits with body language. It's real comfy. But I don't have a way to connect it to my GoPro, I don't think yet. There might be some connector, but this kind of thing is kind of beyond me as far as my capacity to actually get my hands on it, which is not a big deal. But so what I'm thinking about doing though is even though it doesn't connect to my GoPro, I think I might wear it when I'm filming on my GoPro anyway, because then that'll be kind of funny because people in my neighborhood, I mean, where I live, dude, you have no idea how funny and stupid and ridiculous I look. But it will look so, can you imagine like walking around filming with this headset on, like kind of, not like I'm like Tom Cruise, but like that same kind of vibe with the headset, and like got the energy while I'm narrating, and then I stop and talk to them on their dog walk, but I'm still wearing the headset as if I'm on a stage, right? So that's why it's funny, is I'll be having these conversations with my friends and neighbors, but like I'm like the motivational speaker, right? I think that is a hilarious folklore option. Is this where I could sleep?
You seem well tired.
Yes.
Tell you what, my pa always used to say, there's naught a good night's sleep can't fix. Not much else I can offer, I'm afraid, but you're...
That's good.
Being
I agree with
armed
that.
is better than being defenseless, even if you're untrained. Still, you should stop by the inn in Melve if you get the chance. No hard feelings if you prefer it. They've much more to offer.
Sure, it's okay. Well, he's a real nice guy.
Oh, how I've longed to embrace my bedroll.
Oh, nice comment, Athena. I was a little bit frustrated that I could only seem to find a British-sounding accent for Athena, but it's like we're in like kind of a medieval setting, so you know, I think more of a medieval accent. Oh, geez, Greensage, did I just take you to bed with Athena on accident? You know, you can't make this shit up.
I knew it was only a matter of time before your skills reached a new height.
They do say good things come to those who...
Going to bed with Greensage leveled Athena up. Look at that. I wanted to get her the real experience. I wanted her to earn that level 2 to get it the real way. Oh, the next quest is in Dragon's Wake. Oh yeah, by the way, the game's Dragon's Dogma 2 if you weren't familiar with it already. I posted some content for Regulus D already because he has it too, I think.
Fierce foes and prefer combat's thrills.
Yeah,
to
why did I
gathering
didn't
items.
I thought you were a pawn, so why are you interrupting me, right? Okay, guys, let's go. We're gonna go meet our first monster with Greensage here. Thanks for leveling Athena up over at the inn for me.
It'll be a surprise to see you arrive in one
You know,
piece, if not.
there's something about
Hordes of
tradition,
monsters
right?
have been
There's just
plaguing
something
this
about
area,
tradition.
you see. We've had to start sending out new recruits.
Is that so?
Lachlan. But I dare say he'll fare all right.
Aye, I expect he will.
Ocado.
What? Weren't harpies reported in that
Uh-oh,
area?
harpies, dude.
Dad can't handle those beasts on his own.
This is the first I'm hearing
You need a
of it.
team to handle harpies.
I want to go to his aid, but we can't just abandon our post. Say, you seem stout of heart. Would you be willing to go in our stead? 'Tisn't far, only a short ways out from the main gate.
Sure.
Leave my thanks. And Ocado's as well, I'm sure.
Sure. I don't read a lot of stuff sometimes. I just kind of go in and play and then figure out how the game works. Oh, I forgot. I have tea here. Sorry, I've got someone brought me a gallon of honey that I'd been saving since last fall I had it, and you can't put honey in your tea in the winter or you get fat. But so I just told them to save it for spring, and then they drove it over today, and I just got a bag of Dragonwell in. I switched it. I'm transitioning is what I should say, to Dragonwell, because you can drink it cool, which is easier on my throat. So that's kind of the way I'm going this year.
Forgotten something, Arisen? You're looking
So let me
rather
get my
lost.
tea going. All right, we're out exploring the world. We got our Dragonwell going. Honey's already in the cup. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, Athena draws. I gotta remember how to fight. I'll get it. Go. All right.
I would have preferred not to have to fight so soon, but at least I know I am up to the challenge.
There we
Try
go.
not to get hit, lest all that vim go to waste.
Let's find out if the village idiot can talk while he fights. I gotta turn my volume down. Oh, Cervantes level 3. Okay. Thank goodness the pawns kind of take care of some of it for you. I like it too because I used to be a chess player, so it's just fun stuff.
Letting the enemy gain the upper hand. The early griffin gets the worm, as they say.
See, Athena gives nice advice. I like how he jumps like Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. Right there. That's where that's from. See, there's a literary illusion in the gameplay. How many people see that stuff, right? Alright. Are there more up there? Hey, pawns, come on. You've seen me try to lead people. Look at this. It's like, what are you guys doing? I chose you just because I liked your names, and it turns out you don't really know what you're doing, huh? Interesting. Alright, come on, Athena. Oh, you know what you're doing. Come on. Alright. I'm not the leader by choice. It's just because I'm the only one who has my own volition here. Alright. Here we go. So yeah, basically though, I just want to talk about how some of this is applied to my Zen study, and like tell you what the Zen study is like this year. So, I'm serious. Like, it is funny because I'm kind of like a rich man now. But I wanted to tell you like how I got my setup here to make my commentary is last year. My mom offered to buy me like a year of tea or something, you know, all at once, so I could make an order direct from China. And so she gave me $1,000 for it, right? But I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but I kind of had this idea that I might be doing this fall. And I also had I had another potential use for the 1,000 that I wasn't sure might pop up or not. So instead of buying the tea, I just used that 1,000 to feed myself, and then didn't take as much.
Is that all of them?
I just let, after the bills were paid, you know, which is just direct. I didn't like ask for a bunch of money for food and all this stuff. I just stretched it out over like 3 months over the summer, and then afterward, I pointed out that I saved that, and I was like, well, since I did that, can I use that 1,000 I saved in order to get, by not getting my own product, to get the thing I need to make literary commentary, which is really funny because it looks like I'm super poor and that I'm having my mom buy me a PlayStation, right? Yeah. Which is what it was, you know.
I've only just enlisted.
But anyway, that's how I got it. Is I actually had to barter my own tea away without knowing if it would even be able to make the transaction, like to translate tea into a PlayStation. So tea, instead of getting tea from China, I got a PlayStation from Japan, right?
Well,
but it did work. And that's how I got that. But I wanted to tell you how fucked up the actual economy is. And so one way that I could do that, and you know how I live is I just switched only down to rice and tea. And I found this really great rice from Thailand that's just the fluffiest jasmine rice you've ever had. You know, and it tastes so good, and I look forward to every fucking bowl of it. And and I found it last year or something, and it was only $19.99 for a 20-pound bag, right? And that is so economical, dude. Like, so economical compared to groceries in Alaska. And then I can just have them Amazoned up 3 or 4 bags at a time. And my neighbors just bring them over, like, you know, once every couple months when that shipment comes in. And that's like my whole food and all the economics that go into my food, right? And it's also a nice thing about the fact that we have trade right? We have free trade with other countries, is because like I'm technically probably eating very healthy, and it's non-GMO, organic, all that stuff. I'm in a sense, I'm probably eating rice that some Buddhists have cultivated for me here, and they're selling it at 19.99 a bag for 20 pounds of it during a pandemic, right? That doesn't sound like a country that's price gouging, right? But then when we put the last order in, I went to verify something, and my mom had the rice part on auto. She has an account. I don't have an account. I just look at Amazon and tell her what I see there. When I want to choose rice or a tea or something, and uh, and I noticed that the bags are now $50. In less than a year, the staple food product went up 250%, dude. Like what? And it's still way, way cheaper than if I tried to eat rice here. And if I buy anything that's in the grocery store, it's like poison, right? It's like poison, you know? Like I could go buy one tiny little bag that's got like a pint of rice in it for like $26 that's organic, but how much would that cost to eat every meal, right? And so there was a point where I ran out of rice and I had to get like the poisoned rice, and I felt sick for a month and a half because we missed one order on the barge or something. Um, but now I've got 3.8 bags of jasmine rice from Thailand just got in, and so I'm
You're
just
welcome to take
very
whatever you
grateful that
like
free
from my
trade is
packs,
still
Master.
open at the moment,
I'd gladly see
even
you
if
put
there's
what I
some
find to good
flickers,
use.
in the connection. That helps a lot. That helps a lot here, right? There is a Salvation Army, but like if the stuff at the grocery store is poison, the stuff at Salvation Army is like poison with mercury added and then a bunch of flavors they invented just to make it taste bad put on top of it, and the whole texture of every piece of food is cardboard, right? So they will make sure you don't starve, right? Although they don't carry much rice, but they will make sure you don't starve. But that is what the poor people, at least in my region of the West Coast, get, right? And then like the poor people above them, all the staple foods that we've been surviving off of by having them Amazon to us instead of going to the grocery store. And there's a lot of us that can't shop here, actually shop in our own town. We're all getting inflated that badly, right? 250% in 9 months, So anyway, let me just say that I I saw RFK Jr. speak the other day, and his candidacy gave me a little hope, and it made
Perhaps
me
this
think of
will
New
seem a
England.
little
I said, you
consequent,
know what?
but
I've never met a New Englander
different
I didn't like.
masters favour different pawns. One whom I served preferred to have beastrons for allies. I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
She's already gone and played with other characters. I haven't turned this thing on in 3 days. I just booted it up and made an intro video for my subreddit.
I don't know about you, Master,
So
but
Athena's already
I'm
zipped
worn
off,
out.
and she
Might
learned,
only
she
have a
gave me a
rest
tip
before
about
pressing
hiring
on.
beastmen. Huh. Interesting. Cool technology. But anyway, that's what I was let you know. Because that's the Price is Zen study. It's an interesting thing to talk about, right? I hope the Price of Zen study in Connecticut is maintained perfectly stable for you through the entire future. And I hope that your stronghold doesn't get razed by dragon's fire, as we just saw in that title. I bet you guys don't have any dragons over there in Connecticut, do you? Probably not. I don't think lawyers and dragons coexist, dude. I've got a high sneaking suspicion. Although I am talking to my sister again, so that's good. But I'm not saying we're coexisting, but we're talking.
So too does the dragon. 'Tis an immutable truth of this world.
Oh, geez, Victor, what
I
good
'tis so.
lessons these pawns are giving me. An immutable, but the Japanese seem to have a pretty good grip on, because this is their take on Western folklore. Remember, this is all Western. This is a Western folklore game made by Japanese. So this is them telling us this is our study of your folklore and your literature. What do you think? Because we've seen their literature from many of their great artists, and they've seen, well, they probably read our old. We don't put out too much good literature. I hope they're playing Baldur's Gate. That's the only good literature I know of lately. But maybe they read like Thomas Pynchon and David Foster Wallace and Frank Herbert and Isaac Asimov. Maybe they read our actual literature from the last century. And I mean, in the scientific age, we call it science fiction because it's the fiction for people who live in a scientific world, right? Like that's our literature. Like all the other stuff is fake now. Hint, hint. You know, but think about that. That this literature here. Uh-oh. This is Japan's take on our literature that they're sharing with us. You know, I know something else that's funny, dude, that fucking all the gamers right now are complaining because they rushed the game out. And I'm telling you the truth about this. The gamers are complaining because Capcom rushed the game out too fast when they could have waited like a month and it would have been better performing, right? So this is Dragon's Dogma 2 that has been released on the first day of spring in the year of the dragon. Dragon's Dogma 1 was released 12 years ago in the year of the dragon, right? So Japan is not only commenting on our Western literature, they are putting a historical signature on their works with the publication dates. Just like I do with my silly poems where I remark a date or a full moon or something in the poetry slam, or like I used to, right? So this is a feature of literature that the American consumers of this product are melting down over because it's unacceptable to their instant consumer demands. And I'm like, well, that's why I know that this is going to be a piece of literature that will be studied and used for the next century, right? Here are what a bunch of artists in Japan, after mulling it over between 12 years just from the last version they gave us, what they've been thinking of. This is their take on our medieval mythos. So let's see what plot element here happens, and just so you know what you're watching in a Renaissance. But that's right, dude. They've published it on the first day of spring, year of the dragon, Dragon's Dogma 2, right? That is some fucking literature, all right? It's funny that Dota guy thought I was gonna like take down gamers. Okay, there wasn't any cutscene. It does seem like there's something, like a, yeah, we have an imminent thing, obviously. I'm glad we can experience this together. And so obviously I'm mostly going to play this game not while I'm recording in it. I'll just come, like I said, discover things and then use them.
Most unfortunate, but it doth not release thee from thy fate.
Uh-oh. Well, I guess I have to... Well, this is an old memory. This is a flashback to the past. Jeez, I cannot believe I have Greensage with me, like, right here doing this. Oh! Okay, I'm gonna have to pay attention now. Oh, Dragonfire! Go! Just so you can see it, I guess, huh? Experience it alongside of me. Welcome to economics in my town. reminds me when my parrot was stolen by the police department, actually. I don't know why. I'm allowed to say that. RFK Jr.'s running. They can't shoot any of us until they get rid of him first. He's like a lunar shield. Oh, I just mean artists. The rest of you are going to be fine, obviously. You'll be like, look at all these book reports! Ha! It's just like when they canceled Yuan Wu for 100 years because they didn't want actors using it because they seemed like better Zen masters than the Zen masters. It's like they're going to forget how to act within 100 years and we'll put it back out again.
Stay with me.
Well, that's how Cervantes had his heart plucked out. That's the name of my pawn, or my character. Was there a gorgon on his neck?
Thank goodness. How are you feeling?
Oh, you know,
This is the
I'm
second
pretty
time
good.
I've watched over you like this, isn't it?
I'm just gonna
Pray,
pretend I didn't hear
save
that.
your thanks. 'Tis only just that I should aid you in turn. After all, 'tis only by your courage that I live
Ooh,
today. Had you not leapt between
Cervantes
me and that
left
dragon,
between the dragon and this person.
I know you suffered for it. Such ghastly wounds. And I could not hear your heart beating.
Oh,
It's
D's
a
ready.
miracle that you survived.
Yeah, I identify. I identify. You only get to say that for so long, you know.
I'm sorry to hear that, though I cannot say I am surprised. Your burns could easily have killed you outright. A great many were bathed in the dragon's flames that day.
Ooh.
You must be special, indeed. How else could you have survived?
I am of the Border Watch. Someone with arisen-like abilities came to this village, pawn in tow.
Uh-oh.
Know you aught of this?
Has he come for you?
Does arisen mean autistic?
We are to part so soon, then. Mayhap you will visit me again someday.
Ah.
Remember, in real
excellent.
life, I don't use
You must
pawns.
be
I
the
have a
one.
dog and a parrot.
You
Just
match
want to
my
make that
soldier's description.
clear. The
I'm
only time
glad
I've
I
ever
found
used a pawn was if it was on a chessboard. I bet Greensage actually does believe that, too.
The ruler of Vermont, currently convalescing in the capital. If you claim the same,
Ooh.
then word must be borne to... I dispatched a missive before coming here, though I doubt the matter can be... Would you be willing to accompany me to the capital? If you truly... Oh, but forgive me. I scattered my soldiers in a bid to find you. I would not depart without them. We shall have to wait till they are reassembled.
That guy's got a nice haircut. Clearly they're doing well economically in the capital. You know, it's pretty remarkable how much nicer those people look than the people out here in this village.
Come to think of it, Sir Leonard was asking after you as well.
That's like the BMW of armor right there.
Mayhap now would be a good time to speak with him.
That's not a good
Last
thing
I
either.
saw
I didn't
him,
say it
he
was
was
the
having a
Ferrari
drink
of
at the
armor. All right. Okay. Well,
Conversation.
that's all we're gonna do here today. But I wanted to make a remark or two in your comment. Talk about Zen study for a second with someone who I've talked about Zen study with in the recent past, who's now being who's recruiting efforts in other forums of other belief systems to lure people over here to the sort of nefarious book report club and boost their ranks and get more podcast listeners. All of those efforts of his are now publicly traded information, you know. So I hope your investors are profiting. I'll be, yeah, I'm gonna be posting too, you know. So my memes about Camelot and my video game literary commentaries. Well, I hope the investors who are getting rich off of my literary work and not giving me any of the profits, I hope they enjoy themselves. Right? I'll just keep trying to get my fucking rice. Peace.